Kids, get your popcorn out. Let me tell you the story of the Space Viking.
I was lightning before the thunder.
Welcome back to Disney Marvels for week of July 10th, 2022. This is episode 185. Disney Marvels, the show about Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Muppets, Pixar, 20th Century, the parks, and much, much more. If it has to do with Disney, it's fair game. I'm your host, Matthew Graken. So, this week's survey, just a generic one, wanting to know what your favorite portal on Disney Plus is. And portal is, on the top you have the generic listings. You have Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic. I didn't have that many spaces. Twitter only allows you 4, so I had to combine Disney and Pixar. Figured those were the ones that came closest together in their content, that you can marry those two. It's synonymous. One could kind of go with the other nowadays. It's not too far off. So that's why I decided those ones could go close together, where Marvel is Marvel, Star Wars is very Star Wars, and National Geographic is very National Geographic. You can't put National Geographic with Star Wars, and you can't put Marvel with Pixar. It really doesn't work that way. So that's how I went with that. So the results are in. You voted, and this is what you had to say. Nobody had any love for National Geographic, which is a shame. There's a lot of good content on there, but I can't talk. I didn't vote for National Geographic either as my favorite portal, but there is a lot of great content, and I'm sure you all can agree with that. Next up was the Disney Pixar part. 8% of the vote went to Disney and Pixar. 25% of the vote went to Marvel, which means congratulations, 67% of you, 67%, well over a majority, said Star Wars is your favorite portal. And with so much great content, I can't blame you. As we just talked last week to Anthony, a lot of great content with Star Wars, a lot of great content coming to Star Wars. Just like Marvel, a lot of great content there, a lot of great content. Woo, I really can talk tonight. Is coming to there as well. All of them, great choices. Really, you can't go wrong with any of them. But, of course, we all have our favorites, just like our children. Just kidding. So, that being said, I do want to apologize. We did start the live show this past Saturday, and I was having technical difficulties. I did not know I was having technical difficulties until later, and I tried to edit the show for the audio stream. So my apologies. Try again next week. Tweak a few things. See if we could get that worked out. Not exactly sure what went wrong, but could take a couple of guesses. And we'll try again. Hey, if you jump on, let me know if it works great. If it's not working good, the audio, and we can figure it out from there. I think I know, but trial and error. Really, it is all trial and error. So, join me, live show coming up. Also mentioned in the live show, we have our Facebook page now going. You can look it up. It is DMP Fans. So, Facebook.com. So, you go into Facebook, you search up DMP, like Disney Marvel's podcast, but just the initials, DMP Fans. F-A-N-S. Make sure you put that S on there. And we will come up. It's either us or the Des Moines Police Department. So, yeah, check us out. Disney Marvel Podcast Fans, DMP Fans on Facebook group. Join up. A lot of stuff coming there. So, we'll be going there. And on that note, we'll be back after these brief messages from our friends and sponsors.
Hi Disney Marvels fans, my name's Tash and my BFF Mercedes and I make a weekly podcast dedicated to all things Disney. From music, movies and food and parks to fun weekly challenges, we discuss it all over at Chat Disney. You can find us on Instagram at Chat Disney or Twitter at Chat Disney UK. We release weekly episodes every Monday morning, which can be found on Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. Bye for now.
And now, on with the show. There was a movie many years ago about an Asgardian who wasn't worthy, fell to the earth, and learned how to be worthy through the young woman that he met on his journey who hit him with a truck. And just like true love hitting you with a truck, the latest Thor movie, Thor Love and Thunder, has been brought upon us. The fourth Thor movie. This actually marks the first time that we've had a fourth movie for a Marvel character. And like many other fourth times, to talk about it, I have Mr. David Gelman joining me live on the other end of this computer. We just raced out of the theaters, recording this to have it drop in an hour and a half. Dave, thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, basically, I got home in record time, and you said 10 minutes. I said, okay, let's go. Here we go. Thanks for having me.
My boys right down. All right, that's it. No, to bed.
Yep, I gave Kaylin my quick review. Kissed her goodnight. Downstairs.
I passed on my quick review to Matt Leonard. I haven't reached out to Isaac yet because I'm sure that he is beat from his new job.
Yep.
As you would well know what that's like.
I know fully. Yes.
And we will be talking to them. I'll be talking to them probably off the show about their thoughts and comments, or maybe post it online or whatnot. But we're here now. We're here now to talk about Thor's Love and Thunder of the movies. We'll try and do it spoiler free, at least for a bit, and then we'll warn people that at this point we'll go into a little more depth about the movie. So if you've already seen the movie, you'll get to hear more of our thoughts. But if you haven't seen the movie, we'll give you a brief overview ahead of time. Again, spoiler free. We'll give you our opinions on the movie, and then I'll let you know at that point. So overall, I was a little nervous going into this movie. I'm not sure about you.
Agreed. Very nervous.
I as much as I enjoyed Ragnarok, I was thinking, are they going back to the well too much? I mean, Taika, to me, did a great job with what he's shown me. He could be a good director in Mandalorian.
Right.
And the episodes that he's done in Mandalorian have been very well done. So I wasn't sure, how this would play off. The previews, I thought, sometimes they show you one aspect and throw you a curveball, and I was really hoping that was the case here. Character of Jane Foster, bringing her back as this time they said Mighty Thor. That's what they called her in the comics. I forgot the name, and I have it. I had it right by me. I was actually reading it today. But the female Thor character, mm-hmm. And they do stick true to that character's arc from the comics. So I was happy about that. But I do have some issues with the movie, which I hate when I have to say that about a Marvel movie because they've been doing so well. But you're now up to 30 something movies and shows. Not everyone's going to be a shining example.
No, it's hard to keep up that success.
Yeah, it is. So overall, I not to put too fine of a point on it, but I guess I wanted more from it. What do you think?
Yeah, what I wanted from this was to continue a storyline or build us to some direction of where they're going with the MCU. You know what I mean? Because it seems like these movies that are coming out now are just little movies here. We're not built like, okay, with the Iron Man and all those that built up to the Infinity War, you know what I mean, and Endgame. It just seems like they're sputtering and they're just throwing out these movies. This did not, for me, continue on a story to where I want to see more of. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does. But the argument there is that the initial phase 1 movies, and even at some point phase 2, but mostly phase 1, that was the case as well.
True, but as they went on, as these movies started coming on, it started introducing more and more that led up to, and
They started putting more nuggets in.
Right.
And in some aspects, do we know if we're seeing things, nuggets or not? And I'll bring up some points later on.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say without having that hindsight. Are we getting that type of stuff without knowing it? Or
Right.
are we just getting a lot of standalone stuff that at some point will merge?
Right.
And we'll go, oh, wait, now I get it.
Okay. They did have a grand scheme. They just didn't make it that obvious.
No. Favorite character? Did you have a favorite character?
This may come as a shock. I did like Natalie Portman. She was good in it. You know, because I've been a harsh critic of hers in the past with the Star Wars stuff as Padme.
Sure.
But she did not bother me in this one. Because her character was more, she's battling stuff and whatever, but she wasn't involved in all that slapsticky, I'm going to hit you over the head comedy. So her character didn't kill me, like where I was like, oh my God, what are we doing here?
No, she is very much the serious character, which is what I hoped out of that character, and we got it. So I was very thankful for that.
Yes.
So I liked what she put into the character. My wife didn't, but she doesn't like Portman at all.
Right.
I've gone back and forth with her. There's a lot of things that she's done that I really liked her in.
Right.
And then there's some stuff that I don't care for as much. So, like The Professional, Black Swan. I really liked her in those two movies.
Right.
The Star Wars ones, I don't hate her in it, but it's not, for me, her shining examples.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I go back to Black Swan, which she won an Oscar for. The Professional, which was her first movie that I still love that movie.
Oh, The Professional was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, you got some really good examples to go back on. So, you got a number of arguments with her talents. So I give her a lot of credit.
Yeah. Cause I remember when the trailer first came out, I remember saying, who is that? And you're like, no, that's Natalie Portman. I'm like, what? Oh God. But she pulled it off for me.
No, yeah, she did. She really worked hard at this. This was something that she wanted to get back into it. I'm sure they backed up a nice sized truck. And they could have done a lot of digital effects.
Right.
They did, but not in the way that people were probably initially thinking. She bulked up. She had a personal trainer. Both Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson kind of supported her and helped direct her on how to prepare yourself for this. It's not just a matter of lifting weights. Right. It's lifting weights, it's eating right, it's routine, it's this and that, and she stuck by it. She had a personal trainer help work with her, and she learned to eat right. Nominee Pendergast was who she worked with. Mm-hmm. And helped to develop the muscle. And she said it wasn't even just like surface muscle, is deep core stuff as well. So it really got her.
She looks like she's got a tiny frame to begin with. So she had to put the mass on to look bigger.
Yeah, right. She's not a big person. So, no. I mean, she really bulked up and she dedicated to this part. Mm-hmm. So that is something that she really put herself into this role. This article that I read from the USA Today, USA Today, Tuesday, July 5th edition, where they have an interview with Portman and Tessa, talking about getting ready for these roles. And Tessa said, she let herself go during the COVID and stuff, so she had a lot of work to do to get herself back to this role, because COVID, a lot of people were eating a lot more than they should have, or not necessarily the best things.
Right.
So, there was something here. What was it this last part here? Where Thompson prepared with an intense diet, lifting weights, and doing 2 hours of cardio a day that resulted in a new love for audiobooks. Getting stronger is a mostly really fun, but also kind of torturous. But at least we all can complain about it together. It feels like superheroes summer camp.
Hmm.
So, it was something that they bonded together, I guess, on the set to get themselves going. I mean, Helmsworth, for the most part, always looks like this. I was watching this is from last year, 2 years ago, I forget when, his shark special about the sharks off the Australian coast.
Right.
And, he's walking around, and even there, he looks like Thor.
Yeah.
He was not even working out for it.
He's like The Rock, man. The Rock's always Diesel. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since he took on the monarchy of Thor, he's always just, I guess, paid attention to his body and how he takes care of himself.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to the Star Trek movie, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie, where he plays Kirk's father, and he's not that big of a, you can tell the muscle mass is not there for that.
Right.
For that role. So
different role.
Yep. So, yeah, he's they really put themselves into this film to prepare for it. I thought visually a lot of the visuals were really good, where they, you had a lot of bright colors at certain points and muted to no color at some points, and those hit the right notes and right tones
Right.
for those moments. The Guardian Galaxies are in it. 15 minutes though. They're really not in it that long. So
who was your favorite character in it?
My favorite character, I probably would say Natalie Portman as well. Either her or I'm not really being facetious because I enjoyed they are characters from the comics, and I thought they added a nice part was the goats.
The goats? They're actually in the comics?
Yeah, they're actually characters from the comics. Yeah, they're Kim goes to me before saying, why do they have to bring Zeus and another character into this? I said, because they're actually from the comics.
Right.
They are? Yeah, they've been around for decades.
Yeah. I'm not big on the comics, so I thought they were just the side character that they threw in.
Yeah, no, the goats are in there. They're even in the series I was reading for Lady of Asgard or whatever. I wish I could remember the title, and I'm not going to run upstairs to get it. And I read about half of it today. I think they were in that too, where Thor, since Thor becomes in the comic, Thor becomes unworthy, and the way that Jane Foster gets Mjolnir is by Thor's mother granting her the ability.
Right.
Because she said there always needs to be a Thor.
Mm-hmm.
So a protector of the realms. So she makes, she gets Jane. Jane becomes, worthy and takes that on. Obviously I knew, well, that's not happening in this movie.
Right.
But how they went about it, I thought was really nice. And it has a nice link and symmetry to how she gets granted the powers.
Right.
So I like all those little story arcs and moments, and I like the complete. It was a completed arc. It was a completed story arc for her character. It was a very defined beginning, middle, and end, and you could follow along on it. And I thought that end was well done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a mixed bag for me on this one. And again, I felt that in some ways they tried to go back to the well too many times, even though this is only the second time Taika has done the Thor movie. It's like, we want it to be Ragnarok, but we don't want it to be Ragnarok. We want it to be Ragnarok, and we don't want it to be Ragnarok. And I think that did, in the end, hurt the movie.
Right, but in Ragnarok, it was a complete balance of comedy and action and story and all that jazz. This one, it just seemed like they couldn't go 2 lines without trying to drop a joke. You know what I'm saying? It was just
Right.
too much. It felt forced. It felt awkward at times. And I'm like, can we move on?
And that was kind of one of my fears is, and like I said, I was hoping that in my mind, we could start off on the comedy. That's fine. Especially you got the Guardians on there. That would be very natural. And then we slowly form into this more heavier tone and darker aspect of Thor, which is we got moments of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got parts of that, but we didn't get it in the right balance and ways, I think.
Right.
And
even the bad guy in this, he's not that ominous in there. He's not like, oh my God, this guy's a real, evil guy. I'm gonna fear him.
Right.
And they didn't, and he wasn't balanced in the movie enough for me. You know what I mean? You got caught up with what's going on with Jane and Thor, and they kept, you know what I mean? They kept flip-flopping,
I feel we didn't get enough of the bad guy. Like the parts that we got were good.
Right.
I thought. But I don't think we got enough of it. Like to really, appreciate him. Now, granted, I walked in like 3 minutes late where we got a lot of his backstory. I'm not sure if you.
No, I missed that too. We all missed that going in.
I mean, we got that at the back end of the movie where I think they filled in some of the parts that we missed.
Right.
But it's
no fault of our own because the theater.
Yeah, the theater kind of screwed things up. Yeah, we won't get into that, but the theater screwed things up.
Yeah.
When does the movie actually start? When the movie is supposed to start?
Yeah, exactly. What happened to the 15 minutes of trailers?
15, 20 minutes of trailers. Come on. And you're supposed to turn the lights off.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so I guess it's a mixed bag for me. I unfortunately do have to be on the little harsher side. So out of my 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the best and 1 being, complete garbage. This was tough for me because I still put, for my personal ranking, Black Widow is still down there.
What did you give Black Widow? I forgot.
5.
A 5.
And I'm giving this one a 5. Okay. But I actually enjoyed it a little more than Black Widow, so I'd give it like a 5.2 or something like that. Because I wouldn't mind going back and watching this again. Black Widow, I still have to kind of like, will I go back and watch it? At some point I'll go back and watch it, but I think I would enjoy this more because at least I feel like everyone from the cast wanted to be there.
Right. Well, Black Widow is kind of like you watched it, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's really no rewatchable
I don't
value in it.
No, yeah. I saw it. I know what happens.
Right.
I really don't need to go back and see it again.
Right.
Because as far as if I want to see I'm blanking on the character's name, but the sister who takes over.
Right. Yeah.
I'll just watch Hawkeye.
Right. Exactly.
Which I enjoyed substantially more.
Yeah, which was really good. Yes.
So, I want to see that, I see those characters. I'll just go watch them, they've now appeared elsewhere. Where this one, there's, to see the Jane Foster storyline over again, to see some of the other characters and what's going on. And I know there's things that play off on other movies that we've seen that are in this movie. So to see that stuff again, and it may pan out.
Mm-hmm.
So there's possibly Black Widow is itself. And we just get the one character that plays out from there. Wherever this one, I think we're going to get again more out of. Thor's still going to be around, but
yeah, I would rewatch it again just to see if I could change my opinion of it.
Yelena, that's it.
Yelena, that's it. Yeah. No, I would rewatch this one just to see if I missed something or if my opinion changes of it. Like I did with The Last Jedi. I couldn't stand that, but when it came out, I rewatched it and I said, "Nah, I still don't like it."
See, in Last Jedi, like I said, to me, that's got if anything, I watch it for the lightsaber scene.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah. So, and I'll tell you some of the moments that I think you missed in a moment. So, out of 10, what would you give this?
See, because I was struggling hard with this, and because I liked Black Widow obviously better than you. I wouldn't put that one up in the top of the echelons, but I did enjoy that one. So this one for me is like a 4, solid. Okay. 4. Yeah. There was stuff I did like, so I can't give it lower than that. But just overall, it was bad.
Yeah, and again, my disclaimer: everyone, so every movie is someone's favorite movie.
Right, exactly.
So there are people out there who absolutely rave and love this movie, and I'm not going to knock them. I'm not going to argue with them. If you love this movie, good for you. Right. Tell people how much you love this movie. Please go right ahead. Yeah. And any movie studio out there would love to have a movie like this. It was number one it was the 3rd biggest opening of the year. It was the number 1 box office in the world. It dominated theaters this past opening weekend. I'm not saying that you shouldn't see this movie.
Exactly. Yes.
I think you definitely need to see this movie, but hedge your bet and your expectations. Especially if you did not like Ragnarok, like a certain host on this show, not being me, but has the same name. Then
wait, Kim didn't like Ragnarok?
She does have the same name as me, but she has the same last name as me. She doesn't have the same first name as me. Matt Leonard didn't like Ragnarok.
Oh, Matt. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait a minute, who didn't like Ragnarok?
Leonard does not like Ragnarok because it felt it was too much forced comedy.
Oh wow.
So I already texted him, take your time.
Yeah.
Okay, get home, and the first thing I do, take your time on this one. So I'm like, you didn't like Ragnarok, you're not going to care for this one probably as much.
Yeah.
So he was a little shocked, but I'm sure he's appreciative. He'll see to it at some point. But yeah, get to it. Just don't go into expecting it to be the best Thor movie. And sometimes if you lower your expectations going in, you enjoy the movie more.
Yes.
That can happen.
Yeah, the different opinion thing, that's there's 2 people I talk to at work, and I know for a fact because I posted something on Facebook. I'm pretty sure he saw it and loved it. So I know first thing tomorrow morning when I punch in, we're going to be talking about how he loved it and how I hated it. It's good conversation. We just debate over the movie.
Well, no offense, Dave. I did tell your wife this morning. Expect Dave to hate this movie.
25 minutes in, I think it was I whispered to Pete, "This is bad."
I think I actually heard you, even though I was 5 seats away. So, and on that moment, we will now go into a little more detail. So, spoilers abound. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, please pause the recording, go see the movie, or whenever you get to see the movie, and then you can come back and revisit this. Beautiful thing about podcasts is we'll be here for as long as the internet is around or I keep the servers up. So let's on that note, give everyone a moment, and we'll dig into it a little more.
Okay.
All right, everyone gone? Yes. All right.
Okay,
good. So now a little more details. My biggest problem with the movie wasn't Jane Foster, Wasn't Gore the God Butcher. Wasn't Valkyrie. Wasn't Korg.
It wasn't the goat.
Wasn't the goats. Definitely wasn't the screaming goats. To me, you got the right amount of the goats.
Yeah. In the beginning, I was worried in the beginning because they were there.
So I was going, oh, you're going to oversell these things, and they didn't.
Pull back, and they did. So yeah.
Wasn't the Guardians? It wasn't any of that. It was Thor.
Yeah.
I
agree.
My biggest problem with the movie is Thor, because they made him an idiot.
Yeah, and you can see that from the original Thor to now. He's become dumber as we've gone on, basically.
Ragnarok, he got a little bit, but it was manageable, manageable stupidity. So it was more ego that he was tripping over. Right. This was just flat out stupid.
Right. And like I said, all the jokes they felt forced and awkward out of him, and I'm like, yeah, it's just he's delivered better performances in the past. Let's put it that way.
Yes. It wasn't for lack of anything. It wasn't that he doesn't know the part or doesn't want the part. He just, in fact, this is what Leonard had to say, and I hope he doesn't mind me putting it in here. He said he blames Taika Waititi a little, but Paul Feige, the Ghostbusters, answer the call a lot. Helmsworth claims he learned how to do comedy on Ghostbusters, which is bull because Helmsworth has always been a naturally funny. But now he knows how to quote unquote act funny, and I think it ruined him. My big problem with Ragnarok was how hard he tried to be funny, and I'm a bit afraid that Love and Thunder would be much the same way. So that's Leonard's take on it. And
but he was in the Melissa McCarthy Ghostbusters.
Yes,
because I still haven't seen that one yet.
I did.
Yeah.
What's
his acting? Similar acting?
I
mean, I know it's a different role. I know it's a different role.
You know what? No, he wasn't even that. He wasn't. It was a little more closer to Ragnarok than it was to this.
Okay, I got you.
This was just.
Yeah.
Like, it's in the trailer. Where Star-Lord standing there, look at the people, towards the people that you love and this stuff, and he just blankly gazes over at him and gets in the way. It's just like, and they kept running that same type of gag, more or less.
Yeah, and the handshake and was awkward, and they kept doing the finger touch and stuff, and I'm like it's cringeworthy stuff, man.
Yeah, there was no need for that.
No.
You think you're trying too hard to be funny.
Yeah.
You can naturally do stuff funny, and that was just going too much into it. And I think further along into the movie, when you had the scene where Portman and Helmsworth were together on the ship, and it was just the two of them, and she's starting to open up to him, he was still an idiot.
Yeah.
Where you need to strip that back and really play onto the emotions, because you were doing that with one character, but you weren't doing it with another character, and that's the problem I have with the writers.
And the thing too is there could have been some really funny stuff there was funny stuff in it, but it didn't hit as funny because of the non-stop forced humor, like the Mjolnir and the axe. You know what I mean? The axe gave himself the hammer, and it kept coming out of the screen, and you'd see him.
And that's kind of one of the weird things. And I'm glad I did this because like I said, I read some of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
Thor actually does talk to the hammer. He has conversations with Mjolnir.
Okay.
So that's not actually canon. That's actually canon. From the comic books.
Okay. It's fine. He can talk to it, but it's just like
Stormbreaker having an emotional, being the jealous girlfriend. All right, that's a little bizarre, and I don't know. I can't say for sure that being completely accurate.
Right.
But
But do you agree that that might have hit a little bit better if we weren't beat over the head with all the slapsticky stuff? You know what I mean? Like if they
yeah, I think they did run that a little too much.
Yeah.
So I think they did run that a little too much. And again, going back to the scene that I'm talking about, then you have Korg starting to sing this bizarre song.
That's where I lost it. That's where I lost it.
Like, why? Why?
I was laughing so hard I had to put my head in my shirt, and I had tears. You ask your wife. I had tears because it was just so silly. I'm like, what are we doing? And I just couldn't stop laughing.
But not in a good way.
Not in a good way, no.
I'm like, well, why?
And it was funny. The Guardians, like, they're one of my favorite. 1 and 2 were awesome. They're one of my favorite character groups in the Marvel universe. I couldn't wait for them to get out of the movie. Like, I wanted them gone because I didn't want this movie to ruin them for me. You know what I mean?
Right. They really served very little purpose.
No purpose, yeah.
I understand why they're in it because the last place we saw Thor was with
them, right?
Right. So okay, you naturally have to lead off with them and take them out of the picture, which they did, and I was okay with how they kind of went about that more or less. Right. So you continue the strange relationship between the Chris's, between Pratt and Hemsworth's characters. And I think it played out. That played out fine. Their characters pretty much all stayed true to their characters.
Yeah.
Which was fine.
That's why I was like, they stay true. Okay, exit. Next.
Yeah. So that's that was fine. I was a little nervous about that, but no, they didn't overstay their welcome. Mm-hmm. So, okay, that's fine. I didn't realize. I've watched all the Guardians movies. I never realized that the one Ravager was James's brother.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. that Ravager, that's Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother.
Really? The one that married the alien or something? Yep. You can't go around marrying people?
What's Craig or something like that. But took over for Yondu's character.
Yeah.
He's now got the fin and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
That's Sean Gunn. Okay, so I'm not the only one that didn't realize that.
Yeah,
but you kind of brought everybody. Karen Gillian's back as Nebula. Everybody's there that needs to be there.
Right.
And their interaction, their characters are the same. Groot's grown up a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So that was fine. And so I didn't mind their parts, and they left, I think, a little fast, but in enough time. It was, for me, that was okay for them leaving.
Yeah.
They got little interactions with the goats.
Yeah.
We'll serve them for meat. Meat people.
That's when the goats finally shut up.
Yeah.
They're like, what?
Yes, it was interesting. The but it was Helmsworth's portrayal. I think there's only one point where I think he was fine. He was actually the Thor character, is when they went onto that moon. And I think that was the best part of the movie. Mm. Where you really got the serious, the darker tone. They dropped the comedy almost completely at that point.
Right.
They even they put everything into black and white, so you just had that creepier feel, that horror feel, the way that was lit, cool. The way it was done. I think to me that was brilliant. Even just how you got to that point with the goats crashing into the moon. I was fine with that. It was a punchline. Yeah. And they moved forward, and it really got the serious, the darker tones that I wanted more from that movie
Yes.
to have,
Mhm.
because whenever you have a character like Gore the God Butcher, and you have a character who is suffering from cancer,
Mhm.
and you have all this other stuff building, those are dark tones.
Right.
And in some ways, especially with comic books, I think some people don't realize this about comic books or just don't believe it, but you can get some lighthearted stuff in comic books. You get some funny stuff, but a lot of comic books get really dark and really political, very heavy storylines to them.
Mhm.
So these are things that it's not unnatural for comic books to have it. Everyone goes back to thinking comic books as, or the translation of a comic book needs to be the Adam West Batman.
Right.
And that's not true. So that this is kind of, I want Marvel to get more into these tones, and I don't know if they were afraid because of the perception of Doctor Strange 2 on how dark that was to be, or was shaping up to be at that point when this was being shot. They stepped Doctor Strange 2 back because it actually was a darker movie than what we ended up with.
Right.
So they were afraid, okay, two dark movies back to back, we can't have that, so let's throw in some more lighthearted comedy and things. I don't know. But we carried some of the dark tones. Jane Foster's arc, and they ran it through completely, because they could have carried that character into possibly the next one, and then have her killed off.
Because again, I didn't know how her storyline played out in the comics, but I just had a feeling they were going to bring her back somehow. Like I thought, what was the bad guy's name again? I'm sorry.
Gore.
I thought he was going to actually use his wish to bring her back, but he didn't, and then she ends up, passing. But like, yeah, it was whatever.
Well, and I think for the and there's the two end credit scenes. I should have mentioned this earlier, but there's two end credit scenes. The second one, I think, cements that she's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to Valhalla. We have plenty of beachfront living.
Right.
So I think that was a nice touch, and it's but again, it cements this character is now run her course. She's done. So I thought that was a nice finale, nice way to do it. They didn't sugarcoat everything. They even they did the foreshadowing part. She's on her way out. She doesn't have much left, and they made the choice very visceral. It's like, you wield that hammer again, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was again another part of where Helmsworth was actually trying not to be funny. He was you could tell that he was concerned for for her.
Right. That was the only time we got that, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You didn't get enough of that.
Yeah.
They were harping on how he's still trying to get over this relationship, and how this how when they split apart, that it really hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of made him just back away from people. And when you think about what Thor has gone through in the past couple of movies, they put him through quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Between Ragnarok, they destroyed his homeworld, and Infinity War, they destroyed half of his people.
Right.
At the and also in Infinity War, he didn't stop Thanos. He could have stopped Thanos, and he didn't.
But then they kind of
had that opportunity.
Then they at the beginning of this movie go like Thor, he lost this guy and who knows who this guy is.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, he has experienced a lot of loss and stuff, but he's been through the ringers. But that doesn't give him an excuse to act like that, though.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. It's like you can have a tortured character, and you can have a character. I mean, think of Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch. I mean, again, another very tortured character. She's not stupid.
No. Nope.
I mean, making bad decisions, yes, but she's not stupid, and you can tell she carries the weight of these losses.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, Thor's carrying the weight in a different way, he puts it on physically, and kind of gives up the superhero biz. Okay, but it doesn't have to make him an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's where I have the biggest problem with this movie. Is just I just dread it every time you open it. I'm like, oh god, what are they gonna make him say now?
Right. And I wonder when they're making the movie, like, was he okay with how? I mean, he probably doesn't have a choice in the matter, but you wonder as he's making the movie and he's acting and stuff, that how this is going to be portrayed. Like, is he okay? Kind of like how I guess Mark Hamill didn't like how Luke was being portrayed. You know what I mean? Last Jedi. I wonder if he had like that remorse, like, hey, this is not how I want to do it, but this is how I'm being told to be. And makes sense. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. And being that's Helmsworth, I don't think you would ever hear him say that.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's more vocal.
Yes, especially now in his
elder years. Yeah,
I wasn't going to go that far. But yeah, more mature years.
Yeah.
So yeah, Helmsworth is more the the team player. So yeah, I mean, but does he feel that way?
That's what like, when he's delivering these lines and he's sitting there going, I went from that Thor to this Thor. The heck?
Yeah, I don't know.
He can't call time out and audible. Hey, listen, can we change a little bit here?
Yeah, can we or something. He could just got so wrapped up in what was going on, the fun of it, that you just sometimes don't realize.
Yeah.
I
mean, I couldn't tell, but you brought up COVID before. Do you think this movie suffered from any COVID related things?
It's quite possible. It is quite possible that some COVID stuff did affect it in the final product. I mean, they shot it last year, I think. I forget when the actual production of it started, but yeah, it was. I think it was filmed They filmed this right after Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Shang-Chi wrapped. They started this. They filmed it mostly in Australia. So it is possible. It is possible that COVID did play a part in it. That aside, like I said, there's parts I enjoyed. There's stuff that I could tell leads into it. So obviously you had Zeus introduce Hercules at the end, but after Thor's battle, Thor, Valkyrie, and Mighty Thor's battle with the Zeus, did you realize who's standing outside of the dome?
No, I did not.
You had two of the Celestials.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Did you notice what was about to fall and crush the children?
No, I did not.
A head of a Celestial.
Ah, see, this is why I got to watch it again. So they're tying the Eternals in. Okay.
So this is what I'm saying, that there are things in this that are part of the grander scheme. Because if you go to, this is no secret that on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride in Epcot, that what you're chasing is a Celestial.
Oh. So
these are becoming, and I hate to use the term big, but important characters to the MCU universe. And they're popping up in all over the place now. So you're already starting to get that connective tissue from, Eternals, now in Thor, in the Guardians attraction. So these things are starting to spread out. The assumption is Fantastic Four when that comes out. There's, Galactus is a very possible character, even though we had Howard Stern talking something about Doctor Doom. But who knows about that one? So so I noticed those. I want to say that even the I forget the name of the character at the end that Gore was trying to get to. So you have this character. So he goes through the portal and you see the whatever omniscient being.
Yeah.
That he's trying to get to. Was very reminiscent of a Watcher.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So again,
I wasn't 100% sure what the heck that thing was, but okay.
With the transparency into the galaxy and everything,
right.
there was a very faint but a face there. So, you have a lot of these other elements coming into this movie that are from other things, and so there's a lot actually in this movie. But if you don't know to look for them or you're not looking for them, very good chance you won't see them.
Right. Yeah, chances I wasn't gonna see it because again I was just like trying to get through it, so I really wasn't paying all the attention to probably everything I should have. You know what I mean? Was Zeus wearing a tutu?
Yes, he was. See, and strangely enough, I was actually okay with that. He goes, we should not have that whole. We should have eliminated that whole section. I said, well, they could have done it better. I understand why they had it there.
Right.
I understand the point, but it, again, could have been done better. I think. But the way that Zeus was portrayed as, he's just living in the glory of himself and has moved on from caring about anything else. It's just all it's all pomp and circumstance.
Yeah,
it is pure all pomp and circumstance, and every way that he portrays that, from the lightning bolt to the way he talks to the his movements, everything is pomp and circumstance. Well, and that's I think that was fine. It was just funny seeing Russell Crowe
doing
doing that.
Which is one of Pete's favorite actors of all times.
Yep.
From what, Gladiator? And he didn't say anything about. I didn't get a whisper about Russell Crowe. I'm surprised.
I meant to. I was expecting something further, but
yeah.
I am Gladiator.
Now, for a future Thor movie, obviously they left it with Hercules. What is Hercules enough to make a quality movie with Thor? You know what I mean? They're gonna. I don't think so. There's got to be something else.
I honestly don't know. Hercules ends up being a good guy,
right?
But
so I'm assuming Thor's not going to kill him.
No, I mean it's the movie.
You team up, end up teaming up against somebody.
But they do at some point. So Hercules' allies are Amadeus, Cho, Hulk, and Thor. So Hercules is the son of Zeus, king of the gods of Olympus. He is known as the Prince of Power and is very fond of fighting, believing it to be a gift to fight both allies and enemies. When the Hulk declares war on the world, Hercules is the first side with him before realizing that Hulk was hell-bent on destruction. He nearly died trying to stop the Hulk, and since then has adventured with Amadeus Cho, who's the Hulkling. Both of them have joined Hank Pym's Avengers. Hercules once pretended to be Thor to fool the evil Dark Elves. His plan was misfired when he accidentally ended up marrying their queen. I can't even pronounce that name. Hercules' golden mace is strong enough to survive even direct blows from Thor's hammer. So, yeah, that's what I got on Thor from the Avengers: The Ultimate Character Guidebook.
And was there any significance to? I mean, he's a smaller character, but the Dwayne Rock guy.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't. No, I really don't think so.
Were we supposed to take that as a play on words for Dwayne the Rock? You know,
Probably.
probably.
Probably. Plus the mustache, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. That was just a yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any significance in that. Yeah, other than that, I'm trying to think what else to take from the movie.
I don't think there's really much else. I mean,
No.
we saw the trailer. We were both skeptical because of it just looked like it was going to be, you know, the slapsticky kind of movie, and unfortunately, that's what we got as soon as it started. So it didn't sway our fears. It confirmed them.
Well, it wasn't as soon as it started because the beginning part was, you know, great backstory,
okay. Right.
which was very gruesome.
Right.
Part, but then you just shifted gears completely and go into the slapstick and relied heavily on Guns N' Roses throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, you noticed.
Even to the point that the Hemedal's son changes the I want to be Axel, like the guy from the band, and I'm like, okay, maybe that was part of the contract.
Anybody from Guns N' Roses in the movie?
Not that I saw. It doesn't mean that they didn't show up. Yeah. Maybe Slash was the guy at the end. I mean, who knows?
Could be. Who knows?
Yeah, no, but I mean, at least it gives me, you know, a reason to put Guns N' Roses as the musical clips for the show.
Yeah. It would be fitting.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's our thoughts. I mean, that's just our thoughts. Again, I'm not trying to say avoid this movie whatsoever. I'm not saying it is an absolutely worst movie I've ever seen, because I've seen some really bad movies.
Yeah.
And this is not one of them.
It was just disappointing.
It was, for the standard that we have set now for these movies, for Marvel movies. I feel they have now kind of slipped a little bit.
Right.
Again, you know, you put out so much, not everything is going to be a shining gold star, and any studio would want even Marvel's least movie.
Right.
So,
I just think they need a direction. Like I don't know. You like you said, we might be getting the subtle hits of a direction. I want it to be a little bit more obvious of their direction so that, you know, I can get on board with whatever they're trying to accomplish.
I want to say I heard, I could be completely wrong with this, so don't quote me. This is just from what I thought I heard, that Feige does actually have a direction, but he really doesn't want it to be super obvious at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We will get to it soon, but he doesn't want it to be just yet.
Who do you think's their next big baddie?
Well, we know Kang's coming up in Quantumania, or should be. We were told that he was coming up in Quantumania. So then we also know that Galactus should be showing up.
He was mentioned in Loki, right?
Right. He's the other, you know, the more feared
right.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
The more feared variant. So So we got Kang. We'll have Loki though. I think now supposedly before Quantumania got switched with the Marvels. So no wait, Quantumania we will be getting now earlier next year. We're supposed to get it later next year. They flipped the two.
Okay.
So I think the Marvels, if I remember correctly, Marvels we're getting in the summer. Quantumania will be getting in the first part of the year. I'm pretty sure on that. I'll double check, but I'm almost certain on that.
What's the Quantum Mania? What's that about?
Ant-Man Lost Quantumania. Yep, February 2023. They really haven't. It just the further adventures of Ant-Man and the Wasp. They haven't released any. So quantum being the quantum realm.
Yeah. I didn't put two and two together. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
But what that means into anything, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? We're going to get obviously Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, Bill Murray plays a character in it. He dropped that he is in the movie. Obviously, Paul Rudd is back as Ant-Man. Michelle Pfeiffer is supposedly back as Jan Van Dyke. Evangeline Lilly as Hope. Michael Douglas as Hank. There are some other characters mentioned, so if you do not want spoilers, do not go to IMDb.
Yeah.
So you have because you have some other characters that are showing up that actually show up sooner than that movie, but it hasn't been officially confirmed yet that they're going to be in something before that. So you have a number of things happening in that movie. So again, a lot of this connective tissue because now you have not just the movies, but you have the TV series, the Disney Plus series as well that are getting pulled into things. Which you didn't get that in Thor, but you have got it in. You got it. Obviously, you got it in Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, yeah.
Yeah, which we knew. You got more than I was expecting because you got the what if stuff in there too. You have now Wakanda Forever is going to have some. I'm trying to think. I don't think anything from any of the series is definitely coming into there. And then Quantumania stuff from Loki and stuff from other stuff. So it is building. So whatever this kind of direction we're heading in is larger than I think most of us realize. So,
but we won't see anything from Kang until when? Probably the next Loki series. Like they'll go in more into that.
Quantumania. It's February.
Oh, he's definitely going to be in that.
Yeah, he's in February. Yeah. Okay. So to what extent?
We don't know. Yeah.
Don't know. But we will be seeing Kang again in February, and then whatever that means for Loki season 2, which comes out. It's in production, so I don't know if that's next year or what.
So what's Marvel's next thing? The She-Hulk, right?
She-Hulk in August, and then Wakanda Forever in November.
All right.
That's the future of Marvel as we stand. I still look forward to all of it, but we will see. Supposedly, again, we'll be getting more direction soon, but when that will be, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Me neither.
So, Dave, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, and we'll be doing this again soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on again, and until the next show.
Yep. Take care.
Take care, bud.
Thank you again for joining in on our discussion about Thor, Love and Thunder. What did you think of Marvel's latest movie, Chris Hemsworth back as Thor, and Natalie Portman as the Mighty Thor, bringing back the cast of wonderful, wonderful characters? Let us know Join discussion on our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Disney Marvels Podcast, on our new and improved Facebook page. Link is here in the show notes. On Instagram at Disney Marvels Podcast, TikTok at Disney Marvels Podcast, and on Twitter at Disney Marvels. And don't forget to subscribe and join our YouTube channel, where we'll be going live on Saturday nights. And also, we got other fun content coming up there, and you can also get the audio version of this show on there as well. Lots going on the YouTube channel. You can leave a voice message through the Anchor app and or Anchor.fm website and be heard on the show. You can be part of this show as well, just simply by leaving a voice message. You could also record a message electronically on your smart device, your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever you have, and email it to DisneyMarvels@gmail.com. Also, if you have any questions, any suggestions for the show, email to that address as well. We'll get it. We always look forward to your emails. Don't forget to check out the latest Disney Marvels blog at DisneyMarvels.blogspot.com. Links to all of these, including the new Facebook group, are in the show notes. Please make sure to join up there. Let's get things moving on there. I want to thank you for your time. I know how little time we have these days with everything going on, especially it's the summer and people are going here and working there, and social gatherings and parties and just tons of things going on. So the fact that we get to spend some time together really means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you so much from all of us. We just ask, please share on your social networks, share it on social media that you're listening to the show, send a link to the show. Or if you really, really want to help the show out, give us a rating or review on either Spotify or on Apple Podcast. We have all 5-star reviews on both of them at the moment. Really appreciate it. It truly means a lot to me, to us over here on as the team, that we gain that kind of feedback. And please add to it. Keep it going, because the more people rate and review the show, the more that those podcasting stream services will promote the show as well. Free. No one has to pay anything. You just take a couple seconds, leave a review, and boom, you've helped the show out for a long, long time to come. And it just helps the show grow that way. The more people we have join our family, the better it will be. Walt believed in Big Disney family, so do I. Don't forget to subscribe to the show while you're at it. This way you'll always know when new episodes are posted. And while you're at it, consider becoming a premium subscriber. Really help the show out. You can do this over at anchor.fm/DisneyMarvels/support to find our Patreon page. You can also check out the latest Disney merchandise at the shop. Get some cool, fun Disney Marvel podcast stuff. I have some new designs in the work. They should be out hopefully this week. Get yourself some cool summertime shirts and swag, some fall hoodies, mugs, whatever. They got a bunch of stuff, magnets. They got a lot of cool stuff over there. It's part of TeePublic, so they're always having sales too. Check it out. Get yourself some cool stuff. Help the show out in the process. You can find links to these in the show notes as well, because remember, this show is brought to you by listeners like you. Whatever you're facing out there, whatever darkness has seemed to surround you, whatever is weighing you down, don't give up. Don't give in. Be your own hero. Face the challenges. And remember, just like Thor, you don't have to do this alone. There's a support system out there that cares a lot about you. It may not always seem like it. And you may be embarrassed or scared. But taking that first step, again, being your own hero, taking that step, will change your life. And change it for the better. I promise you that. And we are always here for you as well. Never give up, never give in. Let your light shine for all to see, because it is beautiful like you are. Now I'd like to end this week's show with a quote from Walt Disney himself. Childlessness. I think it's the equivalent of never losing your sense of humor. I mean, there are a certain something that you retain. It's the equivalent of not getting so stuffy that you can't laugh at others. Then that's from Walt Disney. Thank you again for listening, everyone, and I'll see you next time.